It's 7:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. A proposal to build a major cruise terminal in Newcastle is already looking unlikely. The Urban Development Institute of Australia revealed yesterday its plans for a terminal on the southern side of the harbour at the old Throsby Wharf. However, Port of Newcastle officials have told the Herald there's not enough room to turn cruise ships around, and the only suitable spot is on Kooragang Island, where the temporary terminal currently is. Charlton MP Pat Conroy has publicly called out Prime Minister Tony Abbott to start investing in Hunter jobs. He claims the government has slashed more than $3 billion in funding from science, research, innovation and industry, as well as cutting 250,000 jobs from the automotive industry. Pat Conroy says the government is neglecting their responsibility to the public.
Providing jobs and supporting jobs is one of the fundamental tasks of government, and that's really important because people's livelihoods depend upon it. We need families to be able to grow and prosper, and you can't do that if you don't have jobs. So it's a fundamental responsibility of government. This government has not done enough. In fact, this government's cut support for that.
Hunter surfers are being warned to get out of the water if they see a lot of bait fish around. Experts believe warm water and runoff from rainfall is attracting small fish, which in turn appeals to sharks. It follows another 2 shark sightings yesterday in Newcastle Harbour and at the Cowrie Hole, which forced the closure of Stockton, Nobbies and Newcastle beaches. A fresh campaign is being launched tonight at Newcastle City Hall to lobby the state government to overturn its decision to cut the heavy rail line into the CBD. The Keep the Hunter on Track campaign will gather feedback from commuters about the impact and inconvenience they've suffered following the Boxing Day truncation. David Blythe from the Hunter Concerned Citizens Group says the plans are still not clear about what is replacing the heavy rail line in the long term.
We don't know what's replacing it because the promised light rail doesn't appear for some years yet. And also, it doesn't go down the corridor. Now, that's an issue for us because we know full well from the announcement that Premier Mike Baird made a couple of weeks back that there's an intention to build on the corridor. Now, that's a worry to us.
Tonight's meeting starts at 7 o'clock. One of the companies who's won a maintenance contract for the Joint Strike Fighter jets at Williamtown says it will lead to more jobs. BAE Systems will look after the aircraft when they arrive at the RAF base in 2018. A company spokesman says it will mean young people joining their apprentice program will be able to remain with the company for their entire working life. An information night is being held at the Newcastle SES headquarters at Tyers Hill tonight from 7 for people interested in volunteering for the organisation. Attendees will be given information on the training involved and what's required of volunteers. Local SES volunteer Gary Luxton says they're always looking for people to come and help out.
Retention rate within any volunteer organisation fluctuates a fair bit, so we always try to keep a level of around 80 members per unit. At the moment we're quite down on that, so we're trying to build up the numbers to get more people involved.
And briefly, the Nationals have endorsed a new candidate for the seat of Cessnock with Jessica Price-Purnell to replace rocker Angry Anderson, who pulled out of the race at the weekend due to personal reasons. The 29-year-old is a staffer for Education Minister Adrian Piccoli. Now with sport, here's Belinda Delasaris.
The Newcastle Jets off-field dramas continue, with sacked goalkeeping coach Neil Young still chasing officials for severance pay 5 days after signing his termination forms. He claims he was promised 6 weeks' wages and 8 months superannuation within 24 hours, but is yet to see a cent. It's believed dumped head trainer Andrew Packer is also waiting on his payout, while former assistant coach Clayton Zane seeks legal advice after being offered 4 weeks severance pay with a year to run on his contract. Knights prop Sam Mataora has been given a second tilt at the NRL after being named in Saturday's trial against Warhope and Port Macquarie. The 24-year-old insists he'll use the chance to fight for a place in next week's pre-season teaser against the Raiders in Queanbeyan. And the Newcastle Hunters have completed their 2015 roster, with Jordan Cappan touching down to join fellow American Justin Hamilton as the team's import pairing ahead of Saturday's Waratah basketball season opener against Bankstown. That's sport. I'm Belinda Delas Harris.
To NURFM News Time, 25 to 8.